head of that important United Nations agency, the Bolivarian ambassador to the United Nations, Rafael Ramirez, vowed that his country is taking the post facing colonialism with the spirit of the late Hugo Chavez and of the South American liberator Simón Bolívar, two giant symbols of freedom and independence. Colonialism, Ambassador Ramirez said, is still much in evidence around the world, in open violation of the principles of self-determination and sovereignty of all the peoples on earth, and is a stain on the conscience of humankind. Just a few days ago, on February 27th, the world recalled the 40th anniversary of the independence of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, whose hopes and wishes for independence are still unattained because of the occupation of most of its territory by wandering Moroccan troops. Under Spanish colonial rule for over 1 century, the Sahara territory was turned by Madrid into a Spanish province under the name of Western Sahara from 1957 until it withdrew in 1976. The territory was then occupied by Morocco in 1979, and the Sahrawi patriots have continued their struggle now against the Moroccan occupation forces. The Polisario Front, the organization that leads the independence struggle in the Sahara, has declared that 84 nations in the world recognize the independence of the Western Sahara. In our hemisphere, besides Puerto Rico, a Spanish-speaking nation militarily occupied by the United States, one other colonial enclave are the Malvinas Islands, an Argentine archipelago militarily occupied by the United Kingdom since the 2nd of January of 1833, when the British frigate Clio landed there a military occupation group. Since then, Britain has illegally taken possession of that Argentine Atlantic archipelago, an occupation that is already lasting 182 years. In April of 1982, Argentine forces attempted the recovery of the Malvinas archipelago, renamed by Britain as the Falkland Islands. A war ensued, and Britain made a disproportionate use of military force versus Argentina, a much weaker nation. The United States committed treason against Latin America and sided with Britain, despite the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, which bound Washington to defend the injured party, Argentina, whose Atlantic archipelago, the Malvinas, Falkland to the British, have been illegally occupied by the United Kingdom. The presence of Venezuela as chair of the United Nations Decolonization Committee is giving renewed hopes to the peoples who still live under the yoke of colonialism and foreign occupation, as well as to all those who in this planet are making efforts to support the ideals of equal rights and the construction of a new, just, equal, and democratic model of international relations, where justice and solidarity will reign for the benefit of all the peoples without exception. Dear friends from around the world, you have just heard Radio Habana, Cuba's editorial comment for this Wednesday. From my window in the studio, I can see the centuries-old Moro Castle standing guard at the mouth of Habana Bay and refreshed by the intensely blue waters of the Caribbean Sea. In beautiful sunny Havana, I am Alberto de Perez, inviting you to keep tuned to Radio Habana, Cuba. Thank you, friends, and have a very nice day.
Our planet is becoming a warmer place.
Global warming is the result of the employment of fossil fuels, gases, and man-made substances.
Our hands in favor of the planet. Our voices for a pure planet.
And tuned to Radio Habana, Cuba. It's almost 17 minutes past the hour here on RHC. Spain is taking aim at a number of investment possibilities in Santiago de Cuba and other